Let's try that again, shall we? All right. Thank you so much for your patience. Our apologies for the slight technical hiccup. I think we've all just been awarded a PhD in Murphy's Law. So, welcome everybody to the University of Newcastle. We hope you enjoy this very special occasion. But please allow me to make a few special announcements before the ceremony begins. To comply with safety regulations, I must point out to you the emergency exits in the Great Hall. For those guests that are seated in the rear of the hall, please note that there is an exit up the stairs behind you. For those seated in the lower tiers and towards the back of the hall, please use the exits to your nearest left and right. And for the rest seating at the front of the hall, please use the front exits of the venue. We'd ask that you all please take a moment to note your nearest green emergency exit sign. For those with small children, there is a soundproof crying room located at the rear of the Great Hall. The ushers throughout the venue will be happy to assist if you need access to this facility. A professional photographer will photograph each graduate as they receive their award from the Chancellor, and a copy of this photograph will be available to all graduates to access and share via their Facebook page. Portrait photography will also be available at the graduate reception in the Brennan Room immediately after the ceremony. As a courtesy to everyone in the room, we ask that you all please take a moment to switch off any mobile devices. Graduates, the university issues an invitation for you to complete the Graduate Outcomes Survey. This survey gathers feedback on your higher education experience to improve the experience for all future students. We strive to provide the best university experience possible for all of our students, but this cannot be achieved without your important and valuable feedback. We would appreciate you keeping an eye on your university email account so that you can help assist with this important survey. Some of the terminology used in today's ceremony may be unfamiliar to you. To assist in your appreciation of the ceremony, we have provided a history of graduation and an explanation of terms in the graduation book, together with a record of the presenters and those eligible to graduate today. The academic procession will enter the Great Hall in just a few moments. When the procession does so, could you please rise and remain upstanding while we all sing the first verse of the National Anthem. At the conclusion of the ceremony, please stand when the Deus Party rises and remain upstanding until the Deus Party and our graduates have left the hall. Again, we hope you enjoy this very, very special occasion. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this wonderful occasion. To start, I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians, the Pambalong clan of the Awabakal people, on whose traditional land this campus is located, and I pay my respects and the university's respects to elders past, present and emerging. As Chancellor of this university and a graduate myself, I'm delighted to be able to celebrate this milestone in your academic journey. Graduates, today you take with you a degree from one of the finest institutions in the world. Newcastle is acknowledged for delivering excellence in education to its 38,000 students. Our degree programs are designed to meet the needs of business and industry today and anticipate those needs well into the future. As a result, the University of Newcastle rates highly for outstanding overall student education experience. That standing is underpinned by the university's ongoing drive to improve how we research, teach and learn, and collaborate with industry and employers. This year, the university started work on the new Honeysuckle City campus, preparing the site for the first main building's construction. Scheduled for completion at the end of next year, this first stage will deliver cutting-edge facilities for the School of Creative Industries and an innovation hub, which will promote greater opportunities for students and researchers to collaborate with industry and investors. The university is globally recognised for its research output. Indeed, many of our researchers are leading the effort to solve some of the world's greatest challenges. Among the university's research achievements this year is $35 million worth of funding from the Australian Research Council for a new Centre for Excellence in the area of minerals processing. The university is also part of a consortium of local and international partners to create a new further $35 million Centre of Excellence in synthetic biology. Across all disciplines, from the sciences to the humanities, the university is recognised for research that delivers impact and innovation. Importantly, the university's focus on excellence in education and research sits hand in glove with a long-held commitment to equity. We offer the opportunity of education to students from all walks of life who have talent and determination. It's at the very core of our university. 1/4 of our students are from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and we have the largest number of Indigenous students of any Australian university. Bolstering this proud achievement is the recent appointment of Nathan Towney as Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Indigenous Strategy and Leadership. In this role, Nathan will lead our Indigenous education framework and is also responsible for leading the implementation of our Indigenous employment strategy. Graduates, today celebration marks the completion of your studies, and it also marks another important milestone, your entry into the university's alumni network. And you're in very good company. One example from this faculty is University of Newcastle alumnus Janice Peterson, who graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies in 1999. Ms Peterson has spent almost two decades working as a cross-platform journalist and news presenter. She spent many years with the ABC reporting on national news before joining SBS. Today she is the presenter of SBS News each weeknight, keeping the community informed on breaking stories from Australia and around the globe. You are now united with achievers like Ms Peterson and the people sitting around you as an alumnus of Newcastle University. Our network of passionate and talented alumni stretches across the world, comprising now over 143,000 members in 135 countries. The network and its chapters offer unique opportunities to connect professionally and socially with other alumni, and I encourage you to join in and stay in touch. It's important. Today is the culmination of many years of hard work. The testament that you'll be presented with shortly is much more than a piece of paper. It's a symbol of all you've experienced during your time here at the university. This includes an acknowledgement of the support of your family and friends who've been with you every step of the way on your journey to today. You'll also be presented with a pin that features the artwork of local Indigenous artist Soretta Fielding. This gift from our university illustrates the importance of education and learning through the use of traditional symbols. People gathered around a central camp place which depicts the University of Newcastle. This will be presented to you by a member of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community. To family and friends, we know that each of you are here to acknowledge the hard work of a very special person. We'd be pleased, and I'm sure they would as well, if you let them know you're here with a cheer as they receive their degree. Again, my heartfelt congratulations to each of you, our graduates, and I'd now call on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Alex Zelensky, AO, to introduce the occasional speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Professor Alan Hayes, AM, Distinguished Professor of Family Studies and Director of Family Action Centre, to deliver today's occasional address. Professor Hayes is a preeminent scholar in the dynamic field of family studies and is the University of Newcastle inaugural Distinguished Chair of Family Studies and Director of our Family Action Centre. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy from Macquarie University, a Bachelor of Arts with honours from the University of New South Wales, and a New South Wales Teachers College certificate from the Wagga Teachers College. Initially trained as a primary school teacher, Professor Hayes moved into research early in his career to better understand the life pathways of children and the role of families in sustaining development, fostering resilience and reducing vulnerabilities across life. Over the course of more than 40 years, he's developed an expertise in this field as an acknowledged nationally and internationally. In 2015, the University of Newcastle became the first university in the country to establish a discipline of family studies, and we were fortunate to secure Professor Hayes as the inaugural Distinguished Chair of Family Studies. Consistent with the Family Actions Centre's focus, Professor Hayes' work highlights the prime value of mobilising the strength of families to promote development, health and well-being. His current research and evaluation priorities focus on the development, implementation and evaluation of innovative approaches to strengthen community support for families. In addition to his academic and government leadership roles, he's been previously a chair, deputy chair or member of several Australian government ministerial advisory councils and expert committees, as well as occupying similar positions for state and territory governments. In 2012, Professor Hayes was appointed a member of the General Division of the Order of Australia for his services to the social sciences through the Australian Institute of Family Studies, as a contributor to public policy research and as an academic and author. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Alan Hayes to deliver the occasional address.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome, Vice-Chancellor, and the great honour to deliver this address. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Council, staff of the University, most importantly, graduates, but never to be forgotten, your families, your friends and others who've supported you over the course not only of your life, but of your studies. I too want to acknowledge that we meet today on the lands of the traditional custodians, the Pambalong clan of the Awabakal people. I pay my respects to those who have, for more than 60 millennia, walked the paths of what is now this university. They've travelled the roads of our regions and the highways and byways of the land we call home. And so many of those routes are sketched by the way in which their feet have passed. I especially focus, however, on those who do so today and the countless others who will follow for generations to come. For all of us, education builds the foundations of the future. The commitment of this university to providing opportunities for all, as our Chancellor has reminded us, irrespective of culture, social position, language or race, was in fact one of the things that attracted me to accepting my appointment here. The quality of this great university is shown in its commitment to excellence and opportunity and equity for all who are willing to work hard, stay the course and cross the finish line to graduate. Like lives, the paths of careers take many twists and turns. Across a working life, they bring multiple challenges, new chances and constant changes. As the saying goes, however, life is not a rehearsal. The destination is rarely foreseeable when you stand on the threshold of this next stage of your life career, as you do today. But can you see the destination? Are you so focused on the desired endpoint that you fail to experience the richness of the journey? Are you blind to the delights of the places and the wonderful, unforeseeable things that await you around the next turn in the road? Fortune-telling is a great danger in a career. By all means, set goals and frame realistic career plans, but don't let these blind you to the unexpected opportunities that come your way and that await you in the next turn onto the road of your journey. There are many days to come that will bring both joys to celebrate as well as hurdles to overcome. It's entirely human to remember and reflect on your life experiences and the journey that has led you to this place on this day. Even though life is increasingly lived in fast forward, the rewind function enables us to remember and reflect on key life events and experiences. I urge you to reflect both on things that go well and those that might have gone better. It's essential to reframe and reshape our actions, priorities and strategies into the future. Reflection, however, is very different from rumination. Obsessively dwelling on the past is very distracting, fuels anxiety, and is not a positive professional practice. I have every confidence that you'll get there, but where is there? Irrespective of your destinations, never lose the belief, however, that you will make it. Embrace opportunities, welcome challenges, and don't underestimate your abilities, knowledge, and above all, resilience. Mentors can make a great deal of difference in all walks of life and avenues that we pursue. As the first generation in my family to go to university, I had 3 older siblings who guided my educational journey. Most importantly, I had parents who were passionately committed to the power of learning and the prime value of education. They hadn't, however, had the opportunities that my brothers and sister and I have had. Education is so important, but do also value the great contributions that all people make, including those in your family who've not been so fortunate as you, nor had the educational and other life opportunities that you've had. Talent is in all of us, irrespective of our addresses. Like education, families can be the most powerful engines of opportunity. My parents and siblings reminded me of the need to see opportunities, pursue them, grasp them, and especially when it came to education. The University of Newcastle has led the way in the development of its suite of pre-enabling and enabling programs. These programs give opportunities to those who have not had a smooth path beyond post-secondary education. One example is the Family Action Centre's Uni for You program that supported many to get back on the path to learning and to succeed at university. I'm always amazed at how well students from our enabling programs actually do once they get the opportunity. Some of you today may have benefited from such support and assistance to again find your way to and through higher education and learning. On leaving school, I didn't have the opportunity to go to university. That came at Teachers College, With encouragement from my family and the lecturers, I was enabled to start the first course for a Bachelor of Arts by correspondence. Online learning had not been invented. It was a while ago, after all, and I've been around for a while. During my appointments as a primary teacher, I continued my degree, part-time, completed honours in psychology at night. My family then supported the decision to embark on research for a doctorate. Collectively, my studies have changed my life in so many positive ways. Be warned, however, that learning can and should be addictive. It's one of the best addictions that you can have in life. Many of the others are not worth the thought. Knowledge is accumulating at an ever-accelerating pace, and it's essential to keep up to date. In all professions, continuing education is essential. This can be by further formal university studies, workplace professional development, or via professional registration processes. Whatever your field, continuous professional learning is essential to keep abreast of the ever-changing research, scholarship and knowledge in your field. This applies to all the disciplines and fields of those graduating today. They include, in alphabetical order, and I'll say them all: Aboriginal professional practice, arts, communication, creative industries, digital media, linguistics and applied linguistics, music technology, natural history illustration, social change and development, theology and visual communication design. While career and lifelong education are important, experience shapes the attitudes, values, behaviours and aspirations that have made you the person that you are and the professional that you will become. I want to leave you with 3 words that I think are so important. They're the acronym TLC, but I don't mean tender loving care. The first is trust. Trust has been defined as the expectation or belief that one can rely on people's actions and words, and that they have good intentions to carry out their promises. Like reputation, trust is hard won and easily lost. As the Director General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, recently observed, the world is suffering from a bad case of trust deficit disorder, and trust is at a breaking point. Trust in all of the institutions is under threat. Whatever the field for professionals, trust is essential. Those with whom you work need to be assured that they can trust you. Professional judgment is paramount. However, it takes experience and courage to trust yourself, your competence, and to recognise your limitations. The second is learn. Learning takes many forms and involves the ability to collect and use information from a wide variety of sources. Of course, learning begins before birth, continues at home, then at school and with institutions such as this. It can be formal or informal, and both may occur together. Much learning as a professional is self-directed or incidental. Experience is, of course, another great educator. Do be open to those with whom you work, including your colleagues, as well as learning from your clients, customers, patients, students, and others. Again, reflecting on what they have to teach you is a key professional competence. My final word is care. It's so important to demonstrate commitment to support and contribute to the well-being of others through your life and work. Our cultural, religious and ethical traditions share common foundations of compassion, humanity and care. Care and compassion often go together. Compassion is defined as a sensitivity to the suffering in self and others, with a commitment to try to alleviate and prevent it, to make a difference for the good. It's the one thing that I hope you keep in mind, that having completed your studies, there's a world ahead of you in which you can make massive differences for the good of others. Underlying compassion, however, is a key consideration for professionals, and that's self-compassion. It's so important to have a kind and understanding attitude towards yourself. We are, after all, merely human. It takes great courage to identify and accept our flaws and failures. Self-compassion and care can help us to reduce those nagging negative judgments and self-criticisms, and it can be the thing that replaces these with kind, loving and encouraging approaches to oneself and others. In conclusion, I heartily congratulate you on your achievements, marked here by your graduation, and wish you every success, fulfilment and satisfaction in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you indeed, Professor Hayes, for a great address, and I'm sure all of us were caused to think about the future and what lies ahead of us. And Alan's given us some very, very helpful advice. There is no doubt that graduates today do look forward to more change than has been the case in the past, and we've all read projections of how many career changes are likely, and the prospect of through-life learning as we adjust to those changes. But Alan, I think, makes the point that to be successful in that world, it's a matter of recognising opportunities that do present themselves, that are not only humdrum projections of where you are today, but pick some exciting ones that your education will suit you to pursue. And the other thing, of course, that he touched on at the end is be good human beings. Heaven knows that there are large areas of our society where we could do with a cultural makeover, and you as leaders in our society into the future will set the pattern for what that culture can be. Leaders generate culture, and your behaviour will generate the culture that others will look to for guidance. So, Alan, thank you very much indeed for what was, I think, a very insightful and helpful address. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to a very important part of this ceremony, and for this I'm going to ask all of our graduates if they'd be good enough to stand. Thank you. Thank you. As Chancellor of this university, I now officially confer awards to all those candidates whose names appear in the graduation ceremony handbook and who have fulfilled the conditions for admission to that award. And I wonder if all of you would join me in applauding the wonderful achievements of these graduates. Thank you. Please be seated. I now call on Professor John Fischetti, Pro-Vice Chancellor for the Faculty of Education and Arts, to present graduates from that faculty.
Good morning, Chancellor, honoured graduates. It's truly a pleasure to be here today. Chancellor, a higher degree by research is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a program of study in which the defining characteristic is research. Doctor of Philosophy graduates have undertaken a program of independent supervised study for the equivalent of up to 4 years of full-time study. These graduates have produced significant and original research outcomes, culminating in a thesis which is independently examined by external expert examiners of international standing. These graduates have developed a substantial body of knowledge at the frontier of the field of work or learning that contributes an original contribution. Candidates can apply their knowledge and skills to demonstrate autonomy, authoritative judgment, adaptability, and responsibility as an expert and leading scholar with the ongoing capacity to generate new knowledge. Today, the university is proud to honor graduates who have satisfied the criteria for Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I present to you Emilia Basseni for the Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Basseni's thesis is entitled Folksonomy versus Taxonomy in the Celestial Jukebox. What does folksonomy achieve in music screaming? It's actually streaming, isn't it? Sorry. Chancellor, I present Dr. Basseni. Chancellor, I present Linda Bolton for the Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Bolton's thesis is Pas de deux. Chancellor, I present Dr. Bolton. Chancellor, I present to you Alexandra Day for the Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Day's thesis is entitled Collaboration and the Early Modern Woman Writer, Materiality, Authorship, Performance. Chancellor, I present Dr. Day. Thank you. Chancellor, I present to you Therese Dryden for the Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Dryden's thesis is entitled The Valentine Wars. Chancellor, I present Dr. Dryden. Chancellor, I present to you Marie Elliott for the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Dr. Elliott's thesis is entitled Myceli Obsession, the Development of a Comprehensive Field and Laboratory-Based Guide to Scientific Mycological Illustration. Chancellor, I present Dr. Elliott. Hello. Chancellor, I present to you Malutafa Faralili for the Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Faralili's thesis is entitled, The Time Has Not Yet Come to Rebuild Yahweh's House, a Jamesonian reading of the Book of Haggai. Chancellor, I present Dr. Faralili. Chancellor, I present to you Dirk Gibb for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Gibb's thesis is entitled The Return of the 1920s, an examination of the 21st century revival. Chancellor, I present Dr. Gibb. Chancellor, I present to you Vicki Hamilton for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Hamilton's thesis is entitled, By the Good Grace, the Moral Treatment of the Domesticated Dog in Art and Society. Chancellor, I present Dr. Hamilton. Chancellor, I present to you Kathleen Hanna for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Hanna's thesis is entitled The Art and Science of Botanical Illustration and Identification, Developing an Illustrated Handbook to the Iconic Wildflowers of the Muamara Nature Reserve. Chancellor, I present Dr. Hanna. Chancellor, I present to you Catherine Jeans for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Jeans' thesis is entitled Bioella, Afore and Beyond. Chancellor, I present Dr. Jeans. Chancellor, I present to you Michael Kilmister for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Kilmister's thesis is entitled Antipodean Imperialists, Sir John Latham, A Political Biography, 1902 to 1934. Chancellor, I present Dr. Kilmister. Chancellor, I present to you Hugh Lindsay for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Lindsay's thesis is entitled Revised Limits of Participation in Public Life, Roman Aristocratic Women from the Late Republic to the Early Imperial Period. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lindsay. Chancellor, I present to you Jenna Lee Lin for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Lin's thesis is entitled Negotiating Dark Matter, Trauma and Ecology in the Fiction of Contemporary Australian Women Writers. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lin. Chancellor, I present to you Joel McGregor for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. McGregor's thesis is entitled Case Management in Youth Dissidence, a Geogovernmentally Approach. Chancellor, I present Dr. McGregor. Chancellor, I present to you Gregory Preston for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Preston's thesis is entitled Pragmatic Transformation, an Entwined History of Newcastle Teachers College. Chancellor, I present Dr. Preston. Chancellor, I present to you Matthew Sefton for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Sefton's thesis is entitled Taurare. Chancellor, I present Dr. Sefton. Congratulations. Chancellor, I present to you Marlene Longbottom for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Longbottom's thesis is entitled Balboaga Belongs. We are strong women. Chancellor, I present Dr. Longbottom. Chancellor, I present to you Marie Van Gend for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Van Gend's thesis is entitled Australian Mixed Voice Secondary School Choirs, a Case Study of Changing Voices. Chancellor, I present Dr. Van Gend. Chancellor, I present to you Yini Wang for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Wang's thesis is entitled Social Media Interactions and Chinese Identities, a comparative ethnographic study of Chinese youth and rural women's identity constructions. Chancellor, I present Dr. Wang. Chancellor, I present Glenn Winshuttle for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Winshuttle's thesis is entitled Object Verbs, Links from Timor, Alor, Pantar to Trans-New Guinea. Chancellor, I present Dr. Winshuttle. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the higher degree research graduates. Chancellor, I now present to you graduates who have satisfied the requirements of a postgraduate award from the Faculty of Education and Arts. Graduating with a Master of Applied Linguistics, Wanli Li. Abigail Oduro. Graduating with a Master of Creative Industries, Michelle Barry. Joshua White. Graduating with a Master of Digital Media, Sanjaya Kanal. Graduating with a Master of Social Change and Development with Distinction, Victoria Gray. Sabrina Stressler. Lucero Varela Echevarria. Shraddha Shakya. Graduating with a Master of Special and Inclusive Education with distinction, Aloisa Sarasua. Thank you. Elenoa Vuniatabua. Graduating with a Graduate Certificate in Digital Media, John Shaw. Graduating with a Graduate Certificate in Special Change and Social Change and Development, Pooja Bhattarari. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of postgraduate awards and the presentation of awards from the Faculty of Education and Arts at this time.
Thank you, Professor Fischetti. We'll now enjoy a musical interlude by Raymond Kelly and Adam Manning, performing with the didgeridoo and percussion. Mr. Kelly is an Indigenous Student Recruitment Officer at this university, and Mr. Manning is an Associate Lecturer of Creative Industries. Thanks very much. Thank you very much, Raymond and Adam. Excellent. Thank you. I now call on Professor Catherine Colborne, head of the School of Humanities and Social Science, to present undergraduate awards from that school.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have satisfied the requirements for a bachelor's degree from the School of Humanities and Social Science. Graduating with a Bachelor of Aboriginal Professional Practice, Alicia Gasparotto. Chancellor, one of our students, Jay Quinlan, sadly passed away at the time of undertaking her Bachelor of Aboriginal Practice degree. The degree of Bachelor of Aboriginal Professional Practice has been awarded to her posthumously. Jay Quinlan's degree will be accepted today by her eldest daughter Tracy and granddaughter Letitia. Chancellor, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts Honours with Honours Class 2 Division 1, Jennifer Murray. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts with Distinction, Ashley Miller. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts and Diploma in Languages, Sophie Gibbons. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts, Jessica Collins. Shanali Gomez. Aidan Howes. Kele. Tenzin Legdon. Rufawo Mangwende. Patrice Matthews. Briley Palmer. Robert Parnell. Ha An Fan. Mari Ramplin. Miranda Stokes. Liu Wu. Shan Wen Wu. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the School of Humanities and Social Science.
Thank you, Professor Colborne. I now call on Professor Paul Eggleston, Head of the School of Creative Industries, to present undergraduate awards from that school.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates who satisfied the requirements for a bachelor's degree from the School of Creative Industries. Graduating with a Bachelor of Communication with distinction, Claire Ince. Hayley McMahon. Graduating with a Bachelor of Communication, Heidi Allen. Mitchell Brown. Mitchell Catt. Brianna Clipperton. James Dieppe. Chelsea Edwards. Isabel Everett. Chelsea Fletcher. Michael Langham. Neroli Lavarak. Claudia Long. Gemma Lumsden. Jared Melmoth. Gabriel Parker. Annabelle Robinson. Chloe Scott. Abby Stoner. Isaac Witten. Zay Wilson. Kin Chun Zhai. Graduating with a Bachelor of Fine Art with Honours Class 1, Lolita Manukian. Michelle Wellen. Graduating with a Bachelor of Fine Art with Distinction and Diploma in Languages, Alicia Sakoff. Graduating with a Bachelor of Fine Art, Derna Kroll. Amanda Preston. Holly Staniland. Graduating with a Bachelor of Music with Distinction, Hayden Jones. Graduating with a Bachelor of Music, Alexander Brightman. Rose Callahan. Dylan Glassall. Michael Hawke. Congratulations. Ryan Hufnans. Thanks, Ryan. Clementine Parker. Jamie Raison. Aaron White. Joss Woodyard. Graduating with a Bachelor of Visual Communication Design with Distinction, Sophie Brown. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Education and Arts. Chancellor, I now present to you graduates who have satisfied the requirements of an award from other faculties. Graduating with a Master of Studies with Distinction, Charlotte Court. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates.
Thank you very much, Professor Eggleston. I now have great pleasure in inviting Ms Victoria Gray, who graduated earlier today with a Master of Social Change and Development with Distinction, to speak on behalf of the graduates. Thank you, Victoria.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Council, staff of the University, families, friends of graduates, and most importantly, graduates. Congratulations to everyone on being here today and for this huge achievement, the culmination of a lot of commitment, hard work, and, if you're like me, a healthy and enduring procrastination habit. In this hall, there sit graduates of applied linguistics, digital media, arts, communication and music, to name just a few. And this diversity of degree focus and scope is impressive and a credit to the University of Newcastle. Some of you might have sailed through the last few years, some may have had to fight really hard, maybe even just to be here in the first place. All that matters is that you've arrived and are sitting in this hall, and that this is it for now. I extend again my wholehearted congratulations and best wishes to you, and also to whoever you have here supporting you today. I graduate today with a Master of Social Change and Development, a degree that challenged me to understand the best ways to work with diverse groups of people to effect social change. This degree represented a complete about-face for me after I had spent years since my undergraduate Bachelor of Arts working a job in an entirely different area with entirely different professional priorities to now. I graduate today feeling personally much more equipped, more thoughtful, and with more focus about how to use my new knowledge and skills. No matter what you studied, I hope you have some of the same feelings and are confident about how to approach the next stage of your lives. However, it is more than okay if that's not you quite yet. Despite the great experience you may have had here, the achievement of graduating doesn't always automatically endow you with a sense of certainty or clarity or laser-focused ambition. The most important thing is that you remain always open to new opportunities to learn and grow, and to not be afraid of taking new paths to what you originally envisioned. I'm not quite sure how to dispense advice to you all today, or whether that's even an appropriate thing for me to do. After all, you know many things that I don't have any idea about, and are capable of plotting your own paths and future trajectories with an understanding of what works best for yourselves. Furthermore, and most importantly, we are all still learning new things all the time. Our knowledge should not remain fixed or static. In this vein, though, if you leave here today with any kind of takeaway from me, maybe it could be a couple of things. No matter what your field, what your eventual profession or continuing passion, be a defender of truth, of transparency, of principle. It might sound cliched to invoke these challenging times that we live in, but there truly is so much ahead of us that is fundamentally and perhaps immeasurably unknown, now more than ever. Abject cynicism does not belong in this kind of speech, so I will say that the profound upshot is that there exists a really meaningful and powerful opportunity for all of us to face this void head-on and resist the temptation to be blissfully ignorant. Question dogma. Speak loudly and consistently to what you're passionate about. Share ideas all the time. Embrace creative, brave solutions. At a time where truth and rigor is being constantly and systematically devalued, fight for knowledge and the value inherent within the learning process. Something else important to consider as you go forward in your professional and personal lives. Be mindful of and use your privilege to positive ends. If nothing else, having this level of tertiary education is in itself a form of privilege and power. Use it to help others in whatever small or large way you can, whether you are a musician, a social scientist, a historian, an educator, an artist. Be an ally. Don't close yourself off, and make an effort to always hold the door open for others who come after you. Audre Lorde said, "When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less important whether I am afraid." The reality is, going forward from here may seem scary. You may feel apprehensive or a little afraid. The antidote to this fear and uncertainty is considered passionate action. As we leave here today, I again encourage you to look uncertainty right in the face and go forward in your lives with courage and compassion. Congratulations once again, and enjoy your celebrations. Thank you.
Victoria, thank you very much for that speech. It was both very capably delivered, but also contained a great deal of wisdom. And I couldn't help but think that it complemented very, very neatly the talk that Professor Hayes gave earlier. And I think, like many of my colleagues, I'm very confident about the future, knowing it's in the hands of people like yourself and your colleagues who are graduating today. That's a very exciting prospect. So thank you again, and every best wish. I hope that everyone's enjoyed this morning's ceremony, and I thank you for joining the university community in the celebration of the awarding of degrees. And thanks for participating. It makes a difference. It brings it to life. Before I declare the ceremony concluded, though, I'd ask this time that the graduates remain seated and invite the audience and my colleagues up here to stand and join me in applauding the wonderful achievements of our graduates. Thank you all very much. I now declare the ceremony concluded and invite you to join us for the graduate reception in the Brennan Room to continue celebrating this very special event together. Thank you all, and once again to the graduates, congratulations. Have a wonderful career, do the right thing, and it'll be a better world. Thank you.